The particular experience occurred years ago back when I was a young man. As due to my youth, I worked hard and received praise for the quality of labor that I did. I worked at a market and it was the end of the year, so everything was at a faster pace and there were more demands for my services. At the time, I was the most experienced laborer and I was given as much time as I wanted and needed. I worked and worked most days, as the money was good and well worth the effort, but the market was a busy and chaotic place. I soon felt fatigued as the end of the year sales went on, so much so that I didn't get much sleep and became restless. My mental fortitude was waning and my body was showing signs of weakening. As the days went on, I became more and more restless, but I continued to push myself further and further to my breaking point, even to the extent that other workers at the market noticed my feats of strength and were surprised at how strong I was. But they were also worried about my safety. Days before the actual end of year, I had just gone back to my home, tired from a full day of work at the market, and I actually had to return in just a few hours for the opening rush at the market once more. I slowly went into my bedchamber as I forced myself onto my sleeping mat and pulled the covers over me. I was restless because I knew I wouldn't get much sleep, as my closet door was open because each morning I quickly rummaged through the clothes I had to wear for the day at the market. Also, it was open whenever I slept these past months, so nothing was different about it. I was sleeping on my side, breathing slowly, just looking into the closet. I stared into the blackness of the closet. It looked like an infinite void, as my entire bedchamber was dark due to the lack of light. But this particular night, my closet looked even darker for some reason, as I slowly blinked my eyes, blinking, hoping to fall asleep, as I looked still into the blackness of my closet, blinking, still blinking, as in the blink of an eye I saw someone standing in the doorway of my closet, a woman, as in my mind I recognized what I was seeing. It couldn't be. It was one of them, a ghost. She was standing there slightly hunched, wearing a gown, skin pale as the moon's light, and wild, unkempt hair all over her face. As I blinked my eyes once more, she was instantly kneeling next to my head on the floor, her hair-covered face mirroring my own. I heard her giggle for a moment, then a soft greeting from her, as I then woke up with a gasp and sudden shake. A dream within a dream. It was so real, so utterly vivid for that instant. As I then turned my position and looked at the ceiling. Needless to say, I didn't get much sleep for the rest of the night. As a few days later, the end of the year push at the market ended, and I was finally able to take some time off from my job. Later, speaking with a woman that I loved, she mentioned that the encounter I had, the moment that I saw the female ghost, was perhaps the weakest I'd ever been in my entire life, and that the ghost was there to mock me and to remind me of that fact. She mentioned that was why the ghost laughed at me, as ghosts sometimes appeared to those to frighten them, without any real vile intent. I kept that in mind, as I later mentioned the same experience to one of my closest friends, as he mentioned to me that in order to see them is to mean that they acknowledged me. It's a form of respect. Knowing how I were to be, he'd always say to stand your ground against them, because to do anything less than that or other than that would be viewed as a sign of disrespect. And he knew that it wouldn't be the last time that I'd see them, as I kept what he had told me in mind as well. Even though the experience was so long ago now, I still remember it as clearly as any other memory of my life, as the entire experience always taught me to do everything in moderation, because you never know what might happen when you do things too much, or too well, or even too dangerously. They might come to see you.